In this Relief Maker video, we're going to cover how to add 3D assets to a scene. Now you can add other kinds of assets like height maps or normal maps, but we're going to cover that separately. We're going to start Relief Maker and we're going to see that we have a blank screen and we have an asset section on the right-hand side. We're going to go ahead and click Add Asset, or alternatively from the Asset menu, you can click Add Asset from File. But this is faster, so we're going to click Add Asset. And we can see that we have OBJ and STL assets to work with, along with normal maps and height fields. We'll leave it on 3D meshes, and we can go ahead and select whatever we want. So let's go ahead and pick a stork. And we can see that the stork model has been added to the scene. When we look at the asset panel, there's a few things that make it up. The first thing is the icon, which represents the kind of asset that it is, in this case a 3D model. We have the name of the asset. We have the ability to hide the asset, which would remove it from any relief generation related activities. We can lock the asset, so when we click on it and try to move it or drag it or anything, it's not going to do anything. And then finally, we have the per asset overrides and other options. So if we wanted for this particular asset to have a different max angle and height scale from the rest of the relief, we could override those here. And we also have the option to do mesh optimization, which can fix some meshes if they're having issues. We can invert the slopes, which we'll talk about in a separate video. Do flat shading, which can fix certain kinds of models, especially mechanical models from CAD software, and make them look a little bit nicer. And also depth combined, which we'll cover in a separate video. Going back to the actions of importing assets, let's go ahead and add another one. We'll pick a buzzard. And we can see that this is asking us if we want to automatically resize and reorient the import to match the other assets. Sometimes imported models can be very, very big or very, very small. And if we've taken the time to find a good scale for our first thing that fits inside of the frustum, we can automatically apply similar scaling to new imports so that it makes our life a little bit easier. It may not be exactly perfect, but it gets us in the ballpark to where exact modifications are a little bit easier. We can see these things have both been added to the assets panel, and it's important to know that we can left click each one to select them. We can right click any asset to duplicate them. And we can also right click any asset to delete. This covers the process of getting 3D models into Relief Maker.